Chapter 3. Judiciary. Judiciary is that organ of the government which settles disputes through interpretation of law. Judiciary is necessary to protect the liberty of individuals. The existence of judiciary is an essential attribute of modern democracies. Independent judiciary and its role. The success of a working democracy is dependent upon an independent judiciary. The judiciary in India has been kept separate from legislature and executive on practical grounds. The branches of state like the legislature and executive cannot interfere in the work of the judiciary. The courts are not under the government and do not act on their behalf. It is important for the separation to work well so that there is little interference from other branches of the government in the Supreme Court. The independence of the judiciary allows the courts to play a central role in ensuring that there is no misuse of power by the legislature and the executive. Judiciary also protects the fundamental rights of the citizens because anyone can approach the courts if they believe that their rights have been violated. In India, there are 3 different levels of courts. Supreme Court, High Court, in every state. District and Session Judges Court, in district. Civil Subordinate Judges. Court Metropolitan. Magistrates Court. Munsifs Court Nyaya Panchayat Courts Subordinate Magistrates Panchayat Adalats. Judicial Magistrates Executive Magistrates. Is divided into districts that are presided by a district judge. Each state has a high court and at the top is the Supreme Court that is in New Delhi and is presided over by the Chief Justice of India. The decision made by the Supreme Court are binding on all other courts in India. By this we can easily find that the Indian judiciary is an integrated system. The appellate system also shows the integrated system. This means that a person can move to the Supreme Court if he feels that the judgment by the lower court is unjust. 2. The salary and allowances of a judge cannot be reduced during their tenure of office. 3. There can be no critical comment on the working of the judges by the Parliament or any other body. There are several courts at the lower level while there is only one at the central level. The local people of the country mostly interact with the district courts or subordinate courts. Each state a fine example for the above is the case of State Delhi Administration versus Lakshman Kumar and others in 1985. Lakshman Kumar, his mother and his brother-in-law were sentenced to death by the trial court for killing Sudha. When they went to High Court they were acquitted. But when the same case came to Supreme Court, it again found Lakshman and his mother guilty and acquitted his brother-in-law and imprisoned them for life. In such cases one can see the working of the Indian courts. The different branches of the legal system. The Indian legal system deals with criminal law and with the civil law cases. Criminal law deals with cases of theft, harassing a woman to bring more dowry, or murder. When the accused is found guilty then he can be sent to jail and also fined. The civil law deals with the harm or injury to rights of an individual, for example, purchase of goods, disputes, rent matters, divorce cases, etc. The court gives the specific relief asked for. Broadly speaking, judicial cases can be divided into 2 categories, civil cases and criminal cases. Civil cases. Cases concerned with private rights are called civil cases. Breach of contract, matrimonial cases, etc. are examples of civil cases. Remedy in civil cases in the form of compensation or injunction. Civil cases may be settled out of court also. Criminal cases. Cases against community are called criminal cases. Murder, robbery, criminal conspiracy are examples of criminal cases. Remedy in criminal cases is in terms of awarding punishment. It is not possible in criminal cases as it involves the state also. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court at present consists of one Chief Justice and 25 other judges. Appointment. Article 124(a) of the Constitution provides that a judge of the Supreme Court will be appointed by the President in consultation with such judges of the Supreme Court and of High Court in the states as the President may deem necessary. In the case of appointment of a judge other than the Chief Justice, the Chief Justice of India may be consulted. Qualification. 1. He should be a citizen of India. 2. He should have served as a judge in a high court for at least 5 years. Or, he should have been an advocate of one or more high courts for 10 consecutive years. 3. He should be, in the eyes of the President, a distinguished jurist. Tenure and removal of judge. According to Article 124 of the Constitution, a Supreme Court judge would hold office till the age of 65 years. If he wants to retire earlier, he should send his resignation letter addressed to the President of India. The judges of the Supreme Court can be removed if they discharge unconstitutional functions, display unsoundness, or on ground of proved incapacity and misbehavior in performing their functions. The method of removing the judges is quite rigid. A judge can be impeached by the President if both the Houses of Parliament pass a resolution supported by a majority of not less than 2/3 members of Parliament present and voting, and an absolute majority of the total strength of the House. Powers and functions of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has vast, enormous jurisdiction. Its powers can be classified under the following headings. 1. Original jurisdiction. Under Article 131, original jurisdiction covers all those cases which can originate directly in the Supreme Court. These include: A. Dispute between central and state government. B. Dispute between central government and one or more states on one side and some states on the other. C. Dispute between state governments. D. Cases related fundamental rights. 2. Violation of. 2. Appellate jurisdiction. The Supreme Court is the highest court of appeal from all courts in the territory of India. It hears appeals in regard to interpretation of the Constitution in civil cases, criminal cases, and special appeals. A. Interpretation of the Constitution. According to Article 132, an appeal shall lie in the Supreme Court if the High Court certifies under Article 134(a) that a case involves a substantial question of law and is fit for appeal in the Supreme Court. B. Civil cases, an appeal shall lie in the Supreme Court from a judgment of a High Court in civil cases, if the High Court certifies that a case is fit for appeal in the Supreme Court as it involves a substantial question of law and in the opinion of High Court needs to be decided by the Supreme Court. C. Criminal cases. In criminal cases, the appellate jurisdiction of the Supreme Court is divided into 2 parts. I. Appeal without certification. This is done in cases where the High Court, on appeal, reverses an order of acquittal of an accused person by a lower court and sentences him to death, or where the High Court withdraws for trial before itself a case in the subordinate court and sentences the accused person to death. 2. Appeal with certification. If the High Court certifies under Article 134(c) that a case is fit for appeal in the Supreme Court. D. Special Appeal. Articles 132 to 134 provide for regular appeals to Supreme Court from decisions of High Court. However, there still may remain some cases where justice might require interference of the Supreme Court with decision not only of High Court outside the purview of Articles 132 to 134, but also of any other court or tribunal in the territory of India. This special appeal, known as residuary power, is conferred upon the Supreme Court by Article 136. According to this article, notwithstanding anything in this chapter, the Supreme Court may, in its discretion, grant special leave to appeal from any judgment, decree, determination, sentence or order in any cause or matter passed or made by any court or tribunal in the territory of India. Noted constitutional expert M.V. Piley commenting upon Article 136 wrote, "The reach of Article 136 is indeed formidable. It has become a convenient instrument at the disposal of the court to check arbitrary acts and unjust decisions of the ever-increasing number of administrative tribunals which the Union and the states are setting up almost daily in the process of realizing the objectives of a socialistic pattern of society." 3. Advisory jurisdiction. According to Article 143, if at any time it appears to the President that a matter of public importance or a question of law has arisen or is likely to arise, and it is expedient to obtain the opinion of the Supreme Court, he may refer the question to the court for consideration, and the court may, after hearing such as it thinks fit, report to the President its opinion thereupon. However, the opinion of Supreme Court is not binding upon the President. Likewise, there is no constitutional compulsion for the court to give its advice. Some of the prominent cases referred to the Supreme Court by the President include the Kerala Education Bill, the Indo-Pak Agreement on the Barubari, the Delhi Law Act, 1912, Presidential Election, 1974, Kaveri Dispute Tribunal Case, 1992, Sutlej-Jamuna Link Canal Case, 2004, etc. 4. Custodian of Fundamental Rights. Under Article 32 of the Indian Constitution, the Supreme Court acts as the guardian of fundamental rights of the citizen of India. The court can declare a law passed by any legislature null and void if it encroaches upon the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Indian Constitution. The Supreme Court can issue writs in the nature of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto and certiorari for the enforcement of fundamental rights. 5. Judicial review. A very important function of the Supreme Court is the power of judicial review. Parliament and state legislatures of different states make laws. Any law which contravenes any of the provisions of the Constitution is declared ultra vires or unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. Thus, Supreme Court, through its power of judicial review, is the custodian of the Constitution and the highest forum for its interpretation. Jurisdiction of the Supreme Court of India. Original. Settles dispute between centre and states and between state. Appellate advisory. Tries to appeal from lower court in civil, criminal and constitutional cases. Advisory. Advises President on matters involving questions of public importance. Writ. A writ is essentially a legal, written document issued by a court ordering someone to take the specified action or prohibiting a specified action. The court can issue writs like habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari and quo warranto to act, or abstain from acting, in some way. Special petition. It even grants social level any appeal from any judgment matter passed by any court in the territory of India. 6. To review its own judgment. According to Article 137, the Supreme Court has the power to review its own judgment and reverse its earlier decision. 7. Court of Record. The Supreme Court also acts as a court of record. Its decisions are printed and they act as precedents in other cases. The Supreme Court is empowered to punish a person even for contempt of court. State High Courts, Organization and Jurisdiction. The Indian Constitution provides for an integrated judicial system. At the apex is the Supreme Court of India, whose decisions are applicable all over the country. In each state of India, there is a High Court which exercises power within the territorial jurisdiction of the state concerned. At present, there are 18 High Courts, with 4 having jurisdiction over more than one state. In India, there is uniformity as far as the appointment and conditions of service of judges and the jurisdictions of High Court is concerned. Composition. A High Court consists of a Chief Justice and other such judges as the President may from time to time determine. Since there is no fixed figure, their members vary from state to state. Appointment. The judges of state high courts are appointed by the President of India in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, the governor of the concerned state, and the Chief Justice of the concerned High Court. In case of the appointment of the Chief Justice of High Court, the President shall consult the Chief Justice of India and the governor of the state concerned. Qualifications for Chief Justice of a state. A. He should be a citizen in India. B. He should have served as a judge of lower court for 5 years. Or he should have been an advocate of a high court for at least 10 years. He should be in the eyes of the President a distinguished jurist. Tenure. A judge shall hold office till he attains the age of 62 years. However, he may resign his office addressed to the President. The judge of a high court cannot be dismissed. He can be removed by the President through the process of impeachment, which is similar to those of the judges of the Supreme Court of India. Powers and functions of High Court. The High Court as a state has the following. 1. Original. The original jurisdiction of the High Court extends to all civil cases which are in respect of actions of higher value. 2. Appellate. The appellate jurisdiction of the High Court is both civil and criminal. It comes as first or second appeal in civil cases. Appeals arise from decisions by district judges and subordinate judges in higher value cases to the High Court. Likewise, decisions come on matters of fact as well as law when a subordinate court inferior to the High Court gives a decision on an appeal from inferior court. In such cases, second appeal lies to High Court. The criminal appellate jurisdiction of the High Court extends to appeals from the decision of a sessions judge or an additional sessions judge when the sentence of imprisonment exceeds 7 years. 3. Power of superintendence. According to Article 277, every High Court extends the power of superintendence over all courts and tribunals, except those dealing and armed forces operating within its territorial jurisdiction. 4. Control over subordinates courts. The High Court is the head of judiciary in a state and is empowered to transfer constitutional cases from lower courts, Article 228. If the High Court is satisfied that a matter involves a question of law and is beyond the jurisdiction of subordinate case, it can withdraw the case and dispose it of itself. 5. Guardian of fundamental rights. According to Article 226, the High Court is empowered to issue writs to any person or authority, including the government, if it feels that the fundamental rights of any individual are being infringed upon within its jurisdiction. These may include the writs of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, and certiorari. Thus, through Article 226, the High Court guarantees the rule of law. 6. Court of Record. The High Court keeps a record of its own cases which act as a precedent in future cases. Judiciary at lower level. The Supreme Court of India is the apex court. It is followed by the state high courts. At the lowest level are the subordinate courts, which comprise of Sessions Court, District Court, Judicial Magistrate, and so on. As far as the appointments to the lower courts are concerned, the Indian judiciary is a career service. Candidates for the state judicial service sit in competitive examination after at least 3 years' experience before the bar. The successful candidates are provided specialized training before their appointment to the service. The lower courts are therefore staffed with career judges alone. They deal with civil and criminal cases of localized nature. Constitutional cases, cases of public law, and the power to issue writs for violation of fundamental rights do not come under their jurisdiction.